Hello and welcome to English Pod Studio. This is the podcast where we learn English step by step in a simple and easy way. Today's episode is about something very important for learners: how to speak English naturally. This video is useful for learning and listening practice, and I will speak slowly and clearly so you can follow me. When people say they want to speak English naturally, what do they mean? Speaking naturally does not mean speaking fast. It does not mean using difficult words. It means speaking in a way that feels smooth, comfortable, and real. When you speak naturally, people understand you easily, and you feel more confident. Let's start with a simple example. Imagine you are at a shop. A non-natural way of speaking might sound like this. "Excuse me, I want to purchase one bread." The grammar is correct, but it sounds a little strange. A natural way would be, "Hi, can I get some bread, please?" This is simple, clear, and the kind of sentence native speakers really use. So how do we move from book English to real English? One of the first steps is to listen carefully. When you listen to movies, songs, podcasts, or conversations, pay attention to the words people really use. For example, in textbooks you might see, "How do you do?" But in real life, people usually say, "Hi, how are you?" Or even just, "Hey, what's up?" Another important point is using short, common phrases. English speakers like to use short sentences. For example, instead of saying, "I am desiring to consume coffee," we say, "I want coffee." Even more naturally, "I'd like a coffee." These small changes make your English sound smoother. Also, when you want to speak naturally, focus on tone and rhythm. English is not only about words, it's also about how the words sound together. For example, when people say, "How are you?" the words often sound like, "How are ya?" Practicing this rhythm makes you sound more natural. You don't need to copy native speakers perfectly. You just need to make your speech clear and relaxed. Think of it like music. English has a melody. If you listen and repeat, you will start to feel the natural flow. Another step is to practice daily life English. Speak about normal things: food, weather, family, your daily routine. This is the English you will use most. If you practice speaking about your own life, your words will feel more natural. Now, let's go deeper. One way to sound natural is by using everyday expressions. These are small phrases people use all the time in daily life. For example, instead of saying "I do not know," most people say "I don't know." Instead of "I am going to the shop," people often say "I'm going to the store," or even faster, "I'm going to go to the store." These are not only easier, but they sound more like the way people really talk. Another example is greetings. In textbooks, you may learn "Good morning, how are you?" But in real life, people often say "morning" or "Hey, how's it going?" These are friendly and casual. When you learn these small expressions, you will notice your English becomes more natural very quickly. Now let's talk about rhythm and stress. English is a language that uses stress and rhythm to carry meaning. For example, listen to this. "I didn't say he stole the money." If you stress different words, the meaning changes. If you stress "I," it means maybe someone else said it, not me. If you stress "stole," it means maybe he borrowed the money but didn't steal it. Learning how to stress the right words makes your speech sound more natural. You can practice rhythm by repeating short sentences with natural speed. Try this. "What are you doing?" Say it slowly first, then say it faster. You will notice that native speakers often connect the words, so it sounds like, "What you doing?" Practicing these connected sounds will help you speak more smoothly. Another tip is to use body language and facial expressions. Speaking naturally is not only about words. It is also about how you look and feel when you speak. When you smile, when you use your hands, when your face shows feelings, your English becomes more natural. Even if your grammar is not perfect, people will understand you better if your body language matches your words. Also, remember that speaking naturally is about being relaxed. If you are too worried about making mistakes, your English will sound tense and unnatural. But if you relax, take a breath, and just try to communicate, your words will flow more easily. Native speakers do not speak perfectly all the time. They make mistakes, they pause, they change words. That is normal. So allow yourself to speak with ease. A great way to practice is to shadow. Shadowing means listening to someone speaking English and then repeating what they say at the same time. You can do this with podcasts, movies, or even YouTube videos. Shadowing helps you copy not only the words, but also the rhythm and tone. It's like training your mouth and ears together. Another helpful practice is role play. Imagine you are in a real situation, like at a restaurant. Practice saying things you might need, like, "Can I have the menu, please?" Or "I'd like some water." You can practice alone, in front of a mirror, or with a friend. The more you practice, the more natural your English will sound in real situations. One more important point is to learn from listening. If you only study with books, your English might sound a little stiff or too formal. But when you listen to real people speaking, you learn natural expressions. For example, instead of always saying, "yes," you might hear people say, "yeah," or "sure," or "of course." These small changes make your English sound more alive. So we learned about using everyday expressions, practicing rhythm and stress, using body language, relaxing while speaking, shadowing, role-playing, and learning from listening. All these steps bring you closer to speaking English naturally. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid, and let's also focus on how to build your confidence when speaking. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is translating word by word from their native language into English. This can make your sentences sound strange or too formal. For example, in some languages, people might say, "I go to take a rest now." But in natural English, people usually say, "I'm going to rest now," or simply, "I'm going to bed." So remember, don't always try to translate directly. Instead, listen to how real English speakers express the same idea. Another mistake is using only textbook phrases. For example, in a textbook you might learn, "It is raining heavily today." That is correct English, but in daily life, people often just say, "It's raining a lot," or "It's pouring." Both are natural and sound more real. So try not to limit yourself to only what you read in books. Add some real expressions to your vocabulary. Many learners also worry too much about grammar perfection. Of course, grammar is important, but if you focus too much on it while speaking, you may hesitate and sound unnatural. Imagine you want to say, "Yesterday I go to the park." Maybe the grammar is not perfect, but people will still understand you. Over time, with more practice, your grammar will improve naturally. The key is not to stop speaking just because you are afraid of mistakes. Another mistake is speaking too fast. Many learners think they need to speak quickly to sound fluent, but speaking too fast can actually make your English harder to understand. Natural English is not about speed. It is about clarity, rhythm, and smoothness. Speak at a comfortable speed. Pause when you need to. This will make your English sound more natural. Now, let's talk about confidence. Confidence is the heart of speaking naturally. If you are shy or afraid, your voice may sound small or uncertain. But if you speak with confidence, even simple words can sound natural and strong. So how do you build confidence? One way is to practice often. Speak every day, even for a few minutes. Talk about what you are doing. "I'm making tea. I'm cleaning my room. I'm reading a book." This daily practice helps you feel more relaxed with English. Another way to build confidence is to practice with a mirror. Stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself in English. Watch your face, your smile, and your body language. This makes you more comfortable with your own voice. You can also practice with friends or online partners. Join a language exchange or speak with classmates. The more you use English in real conversations, the more natural it will feel. Remember, speaking naturally is not about being perfect. It is about being real and comfortable. Now let's do a quick recap of what we learned in this whole episode. To speak English naturally, first, use simple and real expressions, not only formal textbook sentences. Second, listen carefully to real English and notice the rhythm and tone. Third, practice everyday English, the kind you use in normal life. Fourth, use body language, smile and show feelings when you speak. Fifth, try shadowing and role-playing to practice natural sounds. Sixth, don't translate word by word, don't worry too much about grammar, and don't try to speak too fast. Finally, build confidence by practicing every day, even in small ways. Speaking naturally is a journey. It does not happen in 1 week or 1 month. But with steady practice, you will improve. One day, you will notice that English feels easier, smoother, and more natural in your mouth. So keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking with courage. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Every mistake is a step toward natural, confident English. Thank you for listening to English Pod Studio. I hope this episode helped you understand how to make your English more natural. Keep practicing every day and you will see the results. Until next time, keep learning, keep smiling, and keep speaking English with joy.